Have you ever fallen victim to failing a standardized test? Maybe not you, but maybe one of your classmates has. Still being in high school, this is my reality every semester. Before this speech, I researched and gathered my information from procon.org and theedadvocate.org. Today, I'm going to talk about the No Child Left Behind Act and how standardized testing affects teachers and students. I then am going to talk about how if standardized testing was cut, where that budget could go. I then will give you alternate options that will change your mind about the appropriateness of using standardized testing. The No Child Left Behind Act was passed in 2002. It is set in all 50 states and it established high standards and measurable goals in hope to improve each individual's academic outcome. From the No Child Left Behind Act came standardized testing. The main agenda of the No Child Left Behind Act is to ensure disadvantaged students achieve academic proficiency. No Child Left Behind sounds good in theory, but there becomes a widening gap between those who understand a topic and those who don't. It slows the process of faster learners. Under No Child Left Behind, all students grades 3 through 8 will be tested every year in math and reading. Then once in high school, they will be tested in math and reading. The hope of No Child Left Behind was that by 2014, all students would exceed their state's expectations. But as we know, that didn't happen. With these high expectations, students begin to feel the stress. Because of standardized testing, students only learn the needed materials for the test. They become good test takers, but they lack the skill of retaining information that they've learned. Tests now are much more than measuring the learned subject, but also reading comprehension, even on non-English subject tests. That's why standardized testing is unfair for non-English first speakers. Did you know that test-related jitters are so common that exams come with instructions on what to do if a student vomits on their test? But that makes sense, because how would you feel if you were given a test every year that told you if you were smart enough or not to move on? Now, imagine giving that test to an 8 or 10-year-old and telling them that they're not good enough or not smart enough. Wouldn't every student feel much more confident and comfortable with having a teacher-made or even a school-made exam that did not determine their intelligence like state exams do, but only give the teacher insight on how their teaching is? Teachers also feel the pressure of standardized testing. Teachers get praised and or punished based on their scores, and some school districts give teachers with a high passing rate a raise or a bonus, which sounds fair, but it isn't. Teachers will cheat the testing system, and because the sole purpose and focus of teachers is for their students to pass the test, there's a creative crisis among all teachers. The gap between kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers and 3rd grade through 8th grade teachers continue to widen. Kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers spend the majority of their time teaching their kids how to share, how to be a friend, how to read and write. But 3rd grade teachers and beyond are so focused on preparing their students to pass the test, they seem to forget that their students are also kids. Test scores are required to have a bachelor's degree, but that doesn't mean that they won't make mistakes. In 2008, the cost of standardized testing was $1.1 billion, but that didn't factor in the costly grading mistakes. If standardized testing was not such a costly priority, that money would go towards improving teachers' salaries. Did you know that on average, teachers spend $500 per year on materials that are not provided by the school, the school district, or the state. If teachers' salaries would increase, that would mean more materials for the classroom, which in return would give your kids a higher education. Then there would be no need for standardized testing. Now that you know what the No Child Left Behind Act is, how standardized testing affects teachers and students, I encourage you to stay aware of the agenda of present and future school leaders and take a stand against standardized testing.